Right. So the reason why you do your dry work, right, is to tell us where the tension is in the body, right? So I want to know if it's this shoulder, if it's this shoulder, if he's tight here, and it's tight here or here. The reason why we do that is because then we're going to design, let's say we've got an hour with Dave, he wants a really good back session, you need to know where you're going to work, right? So I then have an imaginary map of the back. So we have the spine here that we do not work on, right? But we have 4 sections. So you have an imaginary line which goes here, right? Now depending on where the tension was, you have to go, where's section 1, which is the tightest section, right? So Rachel, you were working on Dave. Where do you think was the tightest section, in your opinion?
I don't know.
You're not too
maybe
sure?
this side more so.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. So at the moment, he's got an awful lot going on in the upper body. Okay. So how you would do that is assessing by your aeroplane, and also here by working with your fingers. When you do your client consultation as well, your client will maybe say, oh, this neck and shoulder's killing me. Right, straight away, that's your section 1. You want the clients telling you that's where I'm sore. Dave, what shoulder more is bothering you? This one. Okay, so this is section 1. This is the tightest one. Okay, he's also got an awful lot more happening here up on this shoulder too. So that's section 2. And then basically for the lumbar area, you're working here, okay, with this movement, and also with your double thumbs as well. And that's how you decide, as well as communicating with the client too. It's more or less the same. Dave, do you feel more here or here?
A bit on the left.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this would be your section 3, and this would be your section 4.
Elaine, does that mean that if the tightest area would be here, this would be the section 1?
Yes,
So
exactly.
1 is the worst.
Yes,
Kind.
section 1 is the tightest area. Where are you having the most problems? Where do I feel it's an absolute nightmare? Oh my God, you're in so much pain. So if, for instance, I was working on Uri, and Uri had came in and said, oh, my lower back's killing me, you do your dry work and you assess, okay, what side is it? And he says, oh, I don't know, it's all sore. This is why you have to do your dry work to go, right, it's there. That's section 1. And then section 2 would be there, and then you would figure out section 3, 4 would be there. Okay. In this way, you are delivering a massage which is specifically tailored to the client's needs. It's not 6 times this way, 8 times that way, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there. If this was my section 1, I would be spending 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there, 5 minutes there. Okay? If it was like a half-hour back session or whatever, you spend longer where the tension is.
And this is after you've done a little bit of warming up, where you do the dry work, assessing, and then you go straight into the section.
Yeah, so basically after you have your sections, we're now going to go into actually the application of the oil. Okay? So once you know where you're working, you get a bit of oil, not loads, you get a bit. Let your arms just come off the side of the bed. I like to have my clients so I've got an open thoracic area. Now in general, in the beginning, it's 6 to 8 times for your effleurage. This is application of oil. And you finish here at the hairline and repositioning. It's a good idea in the beginning to get enough oil on the back so that you don't need to start again halfway through the treatment and then apply more oil. So in general, 6 to 8 times for your holistic. Okay, and that's me prepped the body out. So you have double hands here on the top traps, coming all the way down, around the hips, back up, over the shoulders, and back up at the hairline. It doesn't come into the hair, and then you reposition until you get the oil all over the client. All right? We then want to treat the back as a whole. So we'll have a general application, deeper of different techniques to get a better feel for what's going on. So you want to start with the neck if you're doing an upper body section. So this is loose knuckles, right? It's like that. And you're moving up and down. So we then go into loose knuckles. That's one technique. And then we can transition. Transition means to move or to change into single-handed picking up. Single-handed picking up. Now he's got quite a good neck. There's some people with very small necks and you can't do this. To then go in with double-handed picking up. Uwe's got quite a good neck as well to be working on too, so you can do double-handed picking up with him as well. So those are the techniques for the neck. So you have loose knuckles, single-handed picking up, and then double-handed picking up. That's how we treat the neck. Always you can transition with effleurage. As you want to then introduce yourself to the back, you can use some effleurage to transition. You can use one or you can use two, right? If you want to. If you don't want to, you can come straight in with loose fists. So I'm working both shoulders at the same time, still treating the back as a whole. Loose fists can also then turn into thumb stripping. So the thumb stripping comes from either side of the spine to the scapula. Do we all know what the scapula is? Do you know what the scapula is? It's the shoulder part here, right? So when you hear me say scapula, that is the scapula, right? That's the bone, the scapula. So that's like one area to work on. Here, that's the rotator cuff. That's another area, okay? So we have double thumbs from the spine to the scapula, not over the scapula. And again, you can be assessing, where is it tight? Where is the tension? And this certainly here is tight. As I'm working with oil, you'll pick up more. Now he's got like little lumps here happening under the skin. You're going to feel this, okay? These little lumps, they're called knots and they're also called trigger points. These are excessive amounts of tension that's happening here. And you can feel one side is definitely tighter than the other. So you can be using your thumb stripping here. We don't take it here into the lat area. It finishes here at the bottom of the shoulder joint. We can also be working with thumb circles, and that can feel very nice.
Your nails have got to be really short, eh?
Yeah, so you've got to have really short nails. I can bring nail clippers in tomorrow if you need to cut your nails, no problem. Okay, so we have your loose fists, stripping, circles, and then we also, as you come to the bottom, you can use reverse thumb stripping, and that can feel very good for the client as well. And then you're going to finish off with 4 to 6 effleurage. And that is one way, that's one sequence of how to treat the back as a whole. Before then, we go into treating section 1 specifically. We've got a set of techniques for section 1. Once we've done that, we're going to move to section 2, which is the same set of techniques, but you're just standing on the other side of the body. So we have a set of techniques for here, a set of techniques for here, and a set of techniques for here, right? Yeah. And then section 2 goes to section 3. We've got a set of techniques for there and a set of techniques for there. And then we go to section 4, again a set of techniques from there, a set of techniques from there. It's the same techniques, but how you apply it is different depending on what side of the body you're on, okay? Right, let me just do a quick recap. 6 to 8 times effleurage. Loose knuckles. Single-handed picking up, double-handed picking up. Transition with some effleurage. Continuing to treat the back as a whole, you have loose fist. You have digital thumb stripping. As you come to the midsection, you can continue to strip or you can come into circles. You can circle up, you can circle back down. As you come to the top traps, go back into your stripping because you can't circle there, it just doesn't feel right. If you're here, you can also reverse it back with some thumb stripping. And these combination of techniques, you can combine them to loosen the muscle tissue and also to be working with all these lumps and trigger points. and then you finish with 4 to 6 effleurage.
These lumps, how can I take them away? How will they get away?
Right, basically the techniques for holistic is your thumb stripping, your circles, and your reverse thumbs at the moment, right? You can also, when we come into section 1, once you've worked with that, we're going to work with a reinforced fist. So that's a bit like a steamroller. Your thumbs are smaller tools, so you're working away at the knots and the triggers and sweeping over them. After you've done that, this is then, again, more of a kind of smoothing out that happens to kind of push them away. So if you imagine a stone, right, and you're hitting at the stone, what happens is that big stone will start to disintegrate the more you hit it. That's what your thumb's for, right? And then your fists, your hands, and also you can use your forearms too. That's more like a smoothing out action after you've worked with your smaller tools. So that was a good question, well done. Right, let's get to it. Rachel, you're going to be, no, hang on, let's change you. No, in fact, let's not change. Rachel, you work on Dave, get back into your pairs, and I want you to do what I've just done.
Okay, so now I
Go first.
Okay?
Or would you like?
You want to go
I
first?
go?
Or do you want me to?
Only one partner made the.
So you go. Yeah, we're going to do loads of it during the
Then
session. Don't
well,
worry.
you should be getting changed on this side then.
So the one who was
No,
last
because
one.
then
Technically.
I have to turn around and they see me
No,
again.
swap
You can do
over.
that here,
Yep, swap
right?
I
over
mean
again,
here, if
so
you
you're
do it in front
constantly
behind the
swapping.
towel,
Oh, that would be possible.
because then I'm right, I'm kind of like next to you. I don't know there.
If you do like this,